All right, good afternoon, Denver, Colorado. Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez. The final word is back here live on the Mile High YouTube channel. Beautiful Sunday afternoon, and good morning. And first of all, to my good friend and partner of 13 years, Alex Ramirez. And Alex, big Saturday yesterday in the Colorado sports scene. We had the NFL draft prior to that. Amazing. I would say we'll start with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
What an incredible victory.
Yeah.
101-99 over the LA Clippers.
Should we look at
Historic
that?
Well,
should we look at that or the
the lead
monumental drop they had in the fourth quarter?
Well, let me say this. That's what we would have looked at had they lost the game, but they didn't.
Right.
It's one of the greatest plays in Nuggets history. I mean, it was all over Twitter, X, till 1 a.m. I was following people well into the night. I mean, the Nuggets were wrote off as dead after a very disappointing Game 3 loss, Alex. I just want to say good morning to you. We're out at number 38, right here on 36th. And well, it's morning. And we were out pretty late last night. It's almost morning to us still. But, hey, good afternoon. And we'll start with the Nuggets, 101-99. Alex, I know they lost a big lead, but Aaron Gordon saved the day.
Yeah, he did.
What a great athletic play. I mean, you used to dunk those kind of things. Could you do that?
No, in dunk ball when I was in like fourth grade.
Incredible, man. And good morning to you. The Nuggets saved their season. Or good afternoon. It's 2-2, man.
So
what do you
just so
think,
you know,
brother?
in Mexico, when you say good afternoon, it's usually after like 10 a.m.
Okay, good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Yeah, I got it. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Hey, listen, everybody. That Nuggets game.
101-99.
When we got back from the Spartans game last night, it was what 11:30 midnight almost.
11:30.
Yeah, it was a long game. Yeah. Unbelievable Nuggets performance. They needed it. I didn't think they had it in them, Joey. I didn't think they were gonna get that game. Sewed up back now. It's coming back to Game 5. And let's not forget about the Avalanche, man. Now we'll dive into all that.
One thing at a time, man. Let's just take it down.
Let's peel one layer of that onion.
This is all about the Denver Nuggets. And, of course, our producer, Nick Arch, he was there at the Colorado Spartans. And Nick was actually – it was his phone that I used to watch the historic play. And, it was funny because we were – trying to broadcast a professional football game, right? Yeah. And I'm asking Nick, hey, man, is this real? Is this going on? What's going on? And all I got to see was the dunk. And, of course, they had to go to the replay and review this several times.
They did.
And I'll tell you what, Alex, I think you said it best. Jokic, of course, 36 points, 21 rebounds, 8 assists. Alex, this is a guy now. I mean, his story, his legacy now is cemented. And I never thought I'd say this because John Elway's my hero. John Elway I always thought that the superpower of John Elway would never be defeated. But I have a 10-year-old, right? You have Romeo, he's 16, excuse me. These kids, they don't barely know who John Elway is.
Right.
But let's see. Dion has a Jokic jersey. Okay. He has a Jokic T-shirt. He has a picture of Nikola Jokic with MVP, 3-time MVP. This guy is now an NBA Finals MVP. And according to no less a legend than Shaquille O'Neal, he said he is a top 5 big man of all time.
And he said, welcome to the big man.
Jokic now surpassed John Elway as the greatest athlete to represent Colorado in sports.
Not yet.
What's he got to do?
Win another one.
Okay, I think that's fair. Okay, because John has 2, right? John had 2 championships. Jokic only has 1.
Win one more, and you might get on that same level of that Mount Rushmore with John Elway.
Yeah.
Win a third, and then
you take it over, right?
You got the main.
Okay, all right,
main head.
All right, so the offseason's coming up for the Nuggets. And look, it's great they won, but I don't think anybody thinks after watching Oklahoma City sweep out the Grizzlies last night.
That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, a 4-0 sweep. It would be very hard for me to sit here, and you and me have been doing sports together 13 years, and think the Nuggets are going to be able to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
They're about to announce.
I don't even know if they're going to finish off the Clippers.
Yeah, you don't know that. For example, let's peel it back. So SGA, they're going to announce the MVP.
It's coming up.
Yep. So let me ask you this, Joe. If you and I play basketball sometimes, and you've always taken me into the court, you basically busted me.
I love basketball.
I know you do. You played in the military, and I get it. You tried out for Metro. I got it. I
just love basketball. I mean, it's
I totally get it. I totally get it. But if I knew that you're a much better player than me, and I knew that you were going to win all these awards, and supposedly because they got to give it to me, right? Because they have to give it to somebody, right? Besides Joey all the time. You know what? I'm going to grab that trophy. I'm going to say, Joey, I don't want that trophy. because I don't deserve that trophy. Yeah, is he a great player? No, he's phenomenal.
You're talking about SGA.
SGA.
Yes, sure.
Just give it the joke if you get it. Say, you know what? The good thing to do about that and be a respectful contestant to win that. Say, Joey, here you go. Here's the MVP for you. Because I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it.
The last time that Jokic didn't win the MVP, the Nuggets won a championship. But I just don't see that ending for this team. And it's not because of Nikola Jokic. I think Nikola Jokic actually somehow got better.
5 of 17 from Jamal last night.
It's not just Jamal. It's the overall product, man. I mean, yes, Aaron Gordon had a great dunk to win the game, but he only had 14 points. Couple guys with 17 and MPJ, Jamal, double figures, but just 5 of 17, as you said. Look, man, I mean, it's going to take a lot more firepower from either the Clippers or the Nuggets. Now, can the Nuggets do this? Maybe, but they need total health. Russell Westbrook would need to come back healthy. I'm not sure. That definitely is in doubt. But hey, a big win. Let's give the Nuggets credit. They're back in the series.
Give them their flowers.
Hey, and we'll see. We'll see how Game 5 goes. I'm not sure the Nuggets will win Game 5, but you know what? If the Nuggets find a way to beat the Clippers and then somehow pull off a 1 in a million upset and beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, at that point, I'm on the bandwagon. Okay, I mean, at that point, I know that's a big if.
Hey, man, it's like saying
if you win the Powerball.
Yeah, come on. I mean, I'm not. No, that's not. No.
So it's not that big of a stretch.
It's like you and I growing hair again.
Okay, well, that's never going to happen. For you, maybe.
There's no
Let's see, you have 27 years. I have none. I mean, at least it's 27 in a Super Bowl.
It's all digital.
All right, so you still have about 583 errors up there. That's not bad. I mean, the average human head has about 6,000. The problem is Bill Foss has more hair than both of us combined. And Bill will be coming on at 12:25 to join us to talk a little Spartans football, a little bit about Suavecito Tequila, and also the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche. Let's just touch real quick on the Colorado Avalanche. Another big victory, another game. Thank you, Nick, for bringing your phone so that I could follow the Avalanche. They get right back in their series as well. Gabe Landeskog actually scores a goal.
Oh, my captain.
Hey, man, listen, that is huge, right? Because it's one thing to have this emotional return, but he's not really a big part of things. Now I've seen him lay out Mikko Rantanen in the first game.
Is he the X factor?
Well, he's got to be, because listen, man, he's been the X factor. He's been missing for 3 years. If you get him and Nichushkin stays clean, and look, don't say that that's an irrational statement. He's been kicked out of the league the last 2 years during the playoffs, right around this time.
Well, now it's
using drugs.
Listen, I'm not making fun of addiction because everybody has
it's sad, man.
Issues or whatever. And,
I
have my own.
We all have our thing. Everybody does
some melatonin or something that maybe I shouldn't.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
Here's the thing, man.
It's 2025.
This is the time where they have to be careful with him. He has to have a handler. He has to have maybe somebody that's constantly with him. But to have Gabe Landeskog last night, my captain. I know Nate Lundy, our boss here at Mile High Sports, is a tremendous friend of his, and they do tons of charity work. But I'll tell you this, man, to see the Avs last night 4-0, and to see the Nuggets tie it up again 2-2, because it didn't look that good, Joey. It looked a little bleak. Let's be honest. Let's look a little bleak. And now to have Kroenke Sports back, man, 2-2. You can run a better script, man.
Listen. They're both back 2-2, but there's a big difference. So the Nuggets come home 2-2 to going to be an outstanding crowd. I mean, I guarantee the one thing the Nuggets, I won't ever be guilty of. Both the Nuggets and Avalanche will have full sold-out crowds, given 110% for their team. I think that Colorado sports are absolutely great. I mean, Colorado sports fans are the best, right? I mean, you look at the support, the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche. You get a team like the Rockies. I mean, they would other city would have moved.
Don't ever say that.
No, I understand, but I get it. I'm sorry, but listen, man, the Colorado Rockies would have been moved by a real baseball town. Look at the Oakland A's. Are they playing in Oakland anymore?
They're not called Oakland anymore.
No. You know why? Because there are no real baseball purists here that love the Colorado Rockies. I mean, they've driven away, I hate to say it, but the Colorado Rockies have driven away the best home field advantage in Major League Baseball. And I'm telling you, other than diehard Major League Baseball fans, nobody cares about the Colorado Rockies anymore. By the way, the Rockies did they win the game, Nick, last night? They were winning the baseball game, but that doesn't mean anything with the Rockies.
No, I think they ended up giving up the lead.
So that would put them at 4-22.
Yes.
And let me just say this, at 4-22, It's just ridiculous.
Is that the worst MLB record?
Well, it is by far. Yeah, it's
For
not
now,
even
yeah.
close. Yeah, well,
For
and
now.
I
What do
think
you mean for now?
Listen, man, I don't want to hear the long-term prognosis. They're 4-22. They're an embarrassment to professional sports in Colorado, and I
listen,
want
man,
nothing to do with
We're
it.
not even talking about
Listen,
those
man,
guys.
listen to me. Let's just drop it. You're right, because they
It's
put me in a bad
over.
mood. Let's move to a winning team, the Colorado Spartans.
Yes.
Nick and I
please.
were on the call last night for the NAL YouTube channel. You did a great job as the arena announcer
Thank you.
at the Denver Coliseum.
Thank you.
Big win. Nick, 42-38. Spartans over the Columbus Lions. They moved to 4-2 in the NAL division. And I'm going to say this. I thought if they lost that game last night, it would be almost impossible for the Spartans to make the playoffs. But Nick, they showed up big. What your thoughts and impressions on the game last night?
Yeah, they stayed alive. You saw the kind of spirit go out of them when Coach Shaw got kicked out of the game between halftime and the third quarter, and they kind of had to regather themselves a little bit. And then once they kind of figured out that we can still win this without him, I don't mean without him, but without him holding the reins, you saw a little bit of life, especially after those turnovers, and they were forcing the Lions to make plays. And then once you start forcing them to do things, they start making mistakes. And like I told you, they were given 3 gifts in a row.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of it and started scoring again.
Well, let me break down the division right now in the National Arena League as it came out this morning. The American division, you got Beaumont 4-0, Columbus last night. They lost, so they're 2-3. This is the American division. Keep that in mind, folks. All right. Then you get the Wheeling, which the
Wheeling, the Wheeling Miners.
Take care of them. Yep, at 2-3. And now I'm not going to go. I'm not going to
That's
go down
next
the rest
week's
of them.
opponent, by the way.
Correct.
The Wheeling
And
Miners.
then the National Division, the Omaha Beef 4-1. And then you get your Colorado Spartans at 4-2 guys.
Half game back
right there. And they got to get the game because they beat.
Well, yeah, but the Spartans will get a chance to avenge that loss here in Colorado on May 31st to end the season.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great game.
So at this point, the Colorado Spartans are 3-0 at the Denver Coliseum. Spartans! My voice is losing. I'm losing to Joey. But you know what? What a great crowd last night. Tremendous. Thank you to everybody on our production team, Lance and Tony and Andrew and everybody. You guys killed it. I was talking to the referees the entire game. By the way, those guys are tough, man. It was a tough game to call. It was a long game, guys. What did you guys think, Joey? In fact, I'm gonna start with you, Nick. What did you think about all the penalties last night at the game? Because a lot of those penalties were a little ticky-tacky, weren't you? What you think?
Yeah, Joe and I talked to the head official before we went up after we talked to you, and he seemed like a very squared away guy, and he seems like a very black and white, lives by the book. Some of those penalties, like you said, were ticky-tack. We call them ticky-tack, but it's black and white to those officials, it seemed like.
Well, the other thing is, it's not just ticky-tack. Those are things that a guy who goes directly by the book will call by a guy who might just let the game play out. It's just like any sport. You either get a referee who's by the book or a guy who lets him play. And a guy who lets him play is a guy who doesn't call several of the penalties last night. And unfortunately in sports, sometimes the officials kind of dominate the action. And Nick and I joked at one point in the second quarter, I believe there was a flag on 5 consecutive plays.
Yeah, the untimed play.
Yeah, and it was like, okay.
One of those replays took about 20 minutes to review.
Well,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. It wasn't the best night for anybody, but those are the games you have to win, the close games. And there were several points in the game where both Nick and I thought, hey, man, maybe the Columbus Lions are going to win this game. And I also thought that the Columbus Lions were a pretty cool group of guys, man. Their coach was cool.
Everybody's nice.
There was not, I didn't have a reason to dislike.
Listen.
So far, I've not had any reason to dislike any of the opposing teams that have come into the Denver Coliseum.
Listen, I'm never one of the guys, Joey, to say, oh, well, the referees did this, the referees. You know what? At the end of the day, the Spartans got the dub. That's all that matters. But yes, was it difficult? Was it a longer game? The game, I think, ended almost at 11 o'clock. I didn't get home till midnight. And by the time you get home, you unwind a little bit. I didn't get to bed till 2, and then you got to get ready for this show, and we're ready to go. But here's the thing, Joey, it's not on the refs. The Spartans did what they had to do, Nick.
Sure.
They got the job done. It got close at the end. I think Sam Hammond from the University of Nevada on that block 2 point, I think it was a 2 point extra. was it 2-point at the end?
The
of
drop kick.
The drop kick. That one.
Yep.
That sealed the game at the end. And then, at the end of the day, Spartans are now 3-0 at home, and they are in second place.
4-2 overall.
Yeah, 4-2 overall, and they are in second place in their division. We couldn't ask for anything better than that, Joe.
Well, all I have to say is this. Make sure you're down at the Denver Coliseum next week for a big game against the Wheeling Miners. This one will, you get to 5-2 before you go on a 3-game road trip, and then you close out your season at home on May 31st. It doesn't get any better. I think that, the action we saw last night was exciting. It was wall-to-wall action. Nick and I were on the edge of our seat, late in the third quarter when the Columbus Lions started to close that gap. I think they closed it to 2 at one point.
Yeah, it was.
And, at the end of that day, and the game was tied 20-20 as well at halftime.
Yeah.
This was a close football game. I think one of the other things I'll always remember is trying to watch the end of a very controversial Nuggets game at the Denver Coliseum with very little lighting. You've been up in that booth before calling a game, Alex.
Yeah.
It's tough to see anything, and it was surreal. But again, congratulations. Hey, look, real quick before we end the segment, let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft. Your Denver Broncos with Yahad Barron. You can call him whatever you want, Yahadi. He's a great guy, and he was a sleeper pick. He was a guy that was the number 1 player rated on their board at number 20.
Best player available.
Many people had him as high as the 7th highest ranked draft prospect. I saw him on many boards as the number 1 or 2 defensive back, and he's very versatile. He can play slot corner. He can play outside. He can play the safety. And the number 1 thing he does, he covers tight ends. Now, when in the last 15 years can you give me any Denver Bronco defender? I can name you 100 tight ends.
Chris Harris Jr.
Yeah, maybe. But I can name you 100 tight ends that just killed the Denver Broncos in the last 5 years. Once the no-fly zone is broken up, Alex, and you know what I meant, since 2017, this is the first time I think the Broncos have a chance to be kind of a new no-fly zone. Surtain, Barron, Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillan. You got Brandon Jones. You got Hufanga.
Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant.
Well, he's defensive guy. I'm talking about your secondary. You talk about insane. Nick, you added Dre Greenlaw as well to kind of shore up another weakness at inside backer. You drafted that kid from LSU in the 3rd round who just looks very, very Savion.
I think the Broncos added their running back to RJ Harvey. That guy is like a speed demon. He's going to fit well with the Sean Payton system.
Yep.
He almost reminds me, guys. I'm not sure if you guys maybe make that correlation, but Alvin Kamara kind of.
Well, that's exactly who he's meant to be. We hope he's Alvin Kamara. I would love that. I know Alvin Kamara, Alex, has won me a few fantasy leagues before. Definitely everybody would love that to happen.
We don't talk about gambling here because we don't want to be degenerates.
Pat Bryant, by the way, man, Pat Bryant. He does something best that I haven't heard of since Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey. He's a great blocking wide receiver.
Yep.
And I think that, I imagine a room with Devon Vele, Cortland Sutton, this kid. I think the Broncos
from Illinois, number 74 picked. I've heard a lot of draft experts around.
That was a little bit of a reach.
A little bit of a reach, but even the running back might have been a little bit of a reach. But listen, do you question Sean Payton?
They want these dudes. No.
Do you question Sean? I
don't question George Payton anymore either. George Payton has killed it in the last 2 drafts. Sean Payton's been right there. They've worked well together. Congratulations to all the guys who were drafted. And now we'll finally close with a good friend of ours. And I say this in sincerity. Shedeur Sanders is a kid we've watched for the past 2 years. We've watched every one of his starts.
I missed one game, Joey.
Yeah, I never missed a game that Shedeur Sanders played at CU. And I'll tell you what, I had come up there 13 years before I ever saw Shedeur Sanders. He's the best quarterback that I've ever seen at CU. It's not even close. And I understand he rubs people the wrong way, the interviews, blah, blah, blah. But, whoever once he didn't go in night 1 or 2, when I told my wife, I said, hey, man, whoever gets this kid, he's going to come with a chip on his shoulder. And even Sean Payton went and addressed the media on behalf of Shedeur. I'll tell you what, I say congratulations to the Cleveland Browns. I think you got yourself a heck of a football player.
They got 5 quarterbacks.
They
got 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I think Shedeur Sanders will be a starting quarterback in the NFL one day.
Dylan Gabriel was drafted in the 3rd round out of Oregon. He played at
by the Browns.
And then you got, I believe, Joe Flacco. Is he there?
Yep. Deshaun Watson.
Listen, here's the thing. and I've gotten a lot of flack over this over the last few days because of our
Affiliation
association with
sure.
Colorado, and I'm going to stand and I'm going to pivot a little bit, and I'm going to say real quick, my stance has changed a little bit on the Shedeur Sanders thing. Yes, the disconnect, and from what I've been reading from everybody from NFL Network, from our guys, Cecil, and everybody in town, and all the draft experts, Ryan Edwards, good buddy, all these guys used to work at Mile High Sports. Here's the thing. I think when you don't participate in any of the post-college, like the Shrine Game, you don't want to throw at the Combine. You're making videos. For example, there's a video that's trending hot right now with Cam Ward and Shedeur.
Yeah, I saw it.
Where Shedeur's like, hey, man, let's go make a music video. And Cam's like, nah, man, I want to be great. I want to win a championship. I want to be an All-American. So don't you have any other hobbies? And Cam's like, nah, man, this is what I do. I play football. So at that point, it kind of made me think about a little bit about what is Shedeur's dedication to the game of football. Does he really eat and breathe it like Bo Nix does? He's in the offseason. Bo Nix saying that he's doing like 5-6 hours a day of film study to improve his footwork, to improve his way he looks at the game. And I don't believe, from today as of right now, I don't believe Shedeur Sanders eats and breathes football. He likes Nike. He likes Gatorade. He likes the Bugatti. He likes the Louis Vuitton. He likes all that money. And with that comes responsibility. But now that he's in Cleveland, I could totally see what's the defensive lineman that just signed the biggest contract? Myles Garrett. He might be saying, hey, young man, go get me my coffee. And if he says no, he's going to body slam him at training camp and say, your daddy's not protecting you anymore. So from that standpoint, I look at Shedeur like, hey, buddy, you got to use this situation being drafted in the 5th round, number 144th pick in the NFL draft, when you were projected to go either number 3 or even possibly to 21 to Pittsburgh. And now you're in the 5th round when how many teams? 150 teams pass you by multiple times. If you don't have motivation to improve yourself and say, I want to be a starter for the Cleveland Browns, then you're not ready to play football.
Okay.
And that's my thing, Joe.
All right, listen, man. You just went on a 5-minute rant.
It was a 2-minute rant, but it's okay.
Okay. It's like a crazy person. First of all, 74% completions in college.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the nation. 74 touchdown passes. This guy does not. First of all, I 100% disagree. The guy did not deserve to be drafted in the 5th round. That's ridiculous. That is a joke. Anybody would see that he had it. I could understand the 1st round, fine. Maybe there is a punishment for blowing your interviews, not respecting the culture of the NFL. I understand. But this was a bunch of guys with egos, bunch of multi-billionaires who colluded against Shedeur Sanders, and they all got together.
Or Deion, right?
Well, you know what? Whether it's Shedeur or Deion, Deion wasn't drafted. No, they colluded against drafting Shedeur Sanders. Now, it might have been because of his dad, but the other thing is, I love it when people doubt athletes in general. You know, I remember one time in 2007, I made a statement about Todd Helton. I said, man, this guy's done. He's washed up, blah, blah, blah. And then the Rockies went on a 21-game tear. And although he wasn't the number one reason why, I mean, I'll be honest, Todd Helton, he hit like 300 or 325 in that football or in that run in October. Athletes that get doubted by guys like you and me all the time, I love it when they rise up and tell everybody.
Todd Helton was in the pros at that time,
hey
man.
I understand, but
I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Well, he broke
still
several records.
Legendary.
You know what?
Come on, man.
In my mind, from Jackson State and what he did at the University of Colorado.
Joey.
Listen, man, you don't sound like it. I'm going to stand
up
for
Shedeur.
You just went on a 3-minute rant against the guy.
Look at my post.
Well, it's contradictory to what you just said. No, it's not
contradictory. It's what happens is, all right, at that time when I made that post.
Right, at that Friday night. But now I've flipped the script.
Well, yeah, because if you continue to.
No, you either stand by someone or you don't.
Listen, if you continue that narrative to say, I'm still legendary, and you're jumping in a pool going, oh, thank God, and you putting Jesus' verses out so God's never wrong. Listen, man, and you got your social media team.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, Joey.
Hey, man, the narrative in his face.
Listen, the narrative doesn't fit.
It doesn't matter. He's got a chance to prove it all wrong.
Listen, I want to be wrong. Listen, Joey, I missed one game.
Right, but that doesn't make you a supporter of his just because you sat there and watched the guy.
I watched every single one of his games except for Central Florida when I was in Cancun with my fiance celebrating our 10-year anniversary.
That's fine. So you're a supporter of the Buffaloes. I agree.
I am a supporter of Shedeur Sanders and I want him to do well.
Then you need belief.
I got shredded on Friday night when I said he's going to be a good quarterback.
Listen,
what he needs to do is grow up a little bit and stop using this legendary stuff, because you're not legendary when you go in the 5th round and the 144th pick. It's time to grow up, Shador. You're in the quarterback room. Preseason starts.
You can tell him to grow up, but what I'm telling you is, talent-wise, he didn't deserve to be picked in the 5th round.
So he got blackballed.
I say that the owners who are millionaires, and I'll never forget when I talked to Mark Schlereth about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was sitting there one-on-one, and you know what he told me? He said, as big of an ego as these players have, you know who's got a bigger ego? These owners. He goes, because Joe, these guys make 50 times more. He goes, the players are rich, the owners are wealthy. He goes, and you understand, you have uncles that are multi-billionaires.
Shaquille O'Neal said, I'm a millionaire.
Right.
Bill Gates is a billionaire.
Right. That's what I mean. Now, who's bigger? Who can really write rules? Bill Gates. Anyway, speaking of bills and guys who write rules, we're going to have one of the greatest bills I know on. Our man, Bill Foss from Suavecito Tequila. He's going to join the program next when you return to The Final Word with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
This is madness.
Spartans! What is your profession?
This is blasphemy. This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
This is Sparta!
I played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey. And guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up. And that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
My name is Anthony Mayer, owner and founder of Game Time PDR. We're located in north part of Denver, 6825 Broadway, pretty much on Highway 36 and I-25. So we specialize in repairing hail damaged vehicles. My technicians have special rods, and the goal is to get the tools underneath the dents. And with the special lights and the angles, they're able to actually massage the metal back to factory standards. We offer a done-for-you service from top to bottom. Literally, the customer doesn't have to do anything. They bring their vehicle to us. We get them under our specialty lights. We write up an estimate, submit them to the insurance, get it approved from the insurance, get it in production, get it washed up, and get it back to the customer. We do waive deductibles up to $1,000, and anybody that mentions the Colorado Spartans, we're giving them a $200 gift card. Go Spartans!
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila.
Suavecito tequila is unique from any other tequila for three main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000 foot altitude. So we have mountain grown agave. Americans hear about mountain grown coffee and mountain grown grapes. They never hear about mountain grown agave. Okay? Only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with Highlands agave, and it's superior to lowlands agave. Number two, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, we're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
No.
Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez back at the final word here live at number 38. And of course, we are now joined by our good friend, Bill Foss, owner, founder, and maker of Suavecito Tequila. And Bill, first of all, you were out at the Colorado Spartans game last night. And Bill, you may have been one of the players of the game because you had a kind of a traumatic experience at the game right in the Suavecito zone. One of the balls had deflected and hit you in the eye. And I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you. We're so glad you're okay and here with us this morning. And talk a little bit about a big win for the Spartans. They moved to 4-2, Bill, with a 42-38 win over the Columbus Lions, and it was a night of excitement for you.
Oh yeah.
And but again, thanks so much for joining us today. And the Spartans have now won 3 straight home games. That's a big deal. How proud of your affiliation are you with the Colorado Spartans?
Oh, I'm really proud. I love any good sports team that plays their hearts out. Okay, and the Spartans do that, and they've just won 3 home games in a row. Let's hope they can win 4 next Saturday night and continue this winning streak.
Bill, we were a little concerned about you last night. We know you got a football to the noggin a little bit. How's your health right now? How you doing? How you feeling?
Well, it hit me in the right eye, and it's still sore, but I'm okay. I can see, and I'm all right.
And to all of our listeners right now, Bill is fine because everybody's been asking this. Bill, okay? Bill is fine.
Yeah.
In fact, he brought one of his prize bottles here. What did you bring here, Billy?
That's our reposado.
Okay,
that's amazing. And what's great about that is that Billy is one of those guys in the Suavecito deck. And Alex, it was packed last night over there. You were running it down like I haven't seen you move that fast since Green Mountain High School. I was out there with Nick doing the call of the game. What an enjoyable contest for all to be had. We had several family and friends out there. Our good friends Mike and Crystal Knoll were out there, along with several of our other Final Word listeners. We want to say thank you for the support of the Spartans. And next week, we need that place packed, man. All of our friends and family. We want to try and get to 5,000 people. That's the goal. Look, come out and watch a winning team. $100 for a 4-pack. It's family oriented. The kids go run around and chase the footballs. They've got a good product. And, it's going to be a big game against the Wheeling Miners, Bill. I think that it's kind of what you signed up for. And hey, with the win, they'll go to 5-2. And the possibility, Alex, of tying the Omaha Beef, they're only a half game behind
Omaha's
the Beef.
coming to town too, man.
Yeah. Omaha's coming to town May 31st. I think they're very impressive. Bill, while the Spartans game was going on, the Denver Nuggets won 101-99 on an historic ending by Aaron Gordon, who put back a Nikola Jokic Sombor shuffle from 3 attempt, and nobody was watching him. It reminded me a little bit of a dunk by Lorenzo Charles by North Carolina State in a game where Jim Valvano ran around after the game and, beat the University of Houston. Same kind of play. Nobody boxed out Aaron Gordon. He dunks the ball, and everybody's watching to see if it counted or not. Bill, what an exciting way to end the game. And now at 2-2, what's your thought on the Nuggets-Clippers series?
Oh, my God. Just the fact that they won it was really important. Now we're back to having the home court advantage, that we come back and play here, this next week. And, and let's hope that we can keep it up.
Bill, and I won't dive into the Avalanche because we have some time to talk about everything. But when the Kroenke sports family adds 2-2 games, so the Avs won last night 4-0, and they tied the series 2-2 with the Stars, and the Clippers and the Nuggets are 2-2 going into this week's games. You look at everything. You live right across the street from the building, and when you see it, man, don't you see the weather's starting to get better, right? You see it from your balcony, Bill. After you're done with all your emails and you're done with all your work, I think you shut it down around like 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And after that, it's just relaxation time. And you watch and you observe how everything is being transformed in front of your eyes. When you see these two teams booming, now that we're in the thick of it. We are in the meat and potatoes of the playoffs right now with the series tied in the first round for both teams. You see it. How does that make you feel when you watch that? Because restaurants get better. Your tequila sells further. Waiters get more tips. Parking lots get fuller, right? Hospitality gets better. It's all the way around. It's a better thing, right?
Oh, my goodness. Is it ever? As you know, I live, on 16th Street, on Larimer, in between 16th and 15th Street. It's only about 4 blocks from the stadium.
Let's not get too specific on where you're at because, you are married.
Okay. So anyhow, there's so many bars and restaurants in my neighborhood that they're packed. It's so neat to see people so happy, not only after the game, but before the game.
And post-game.
They're there before the game, and then they walk to the game, and then they come back smiling and noisy and cheering, and it's wonderful to see.
Well, let me just say this. Every sporting event is better with Suavecito Tequila, the best starting.
Give me the starting lineup, Joey.
Well, it's obvious. It's the Blanco, the Reposado, the Cristalino, the Anejo, and the Extra Anejo. And, of course, the 6th man of the year, the single label Anejo, or the single barrel Anejo with the bright red label. Bill, how proud of you are your 6 tequilas? I mean, every time I don't think you can make a better tequila, you come out with one, and that's what keeps Suavecito at the top of the charts.
Yeah, no, it does. And even the Cristalino, which we launched about 6 months ago,
my favorite.
There's only about 25 or 30 of the 3,000 tequilas that even make a Cristalino.
Yeah.
So we're at the top of the pack just because of what we make and what we do and how we do it.
Yep. And, as we see Coach Fred Shaw from the Colorado Spartans walk in as he's about to make his approach into the studio. Listen, Billy, last night, and I'm going to say it again, my mood got changed last night when I found out that you were hit by a ball. Because I know DJ Sin on the opposite side of the field, she gets balls landed. I mean, she's right in the end zone.
Everywhere, right by her.
And you're right there as well. So we're going to make some adjustments, not to the Suavecito zone, just to make sure that you're sitting in a different area because that is a launching pad for, I was catching footballs earlier that day and the ball hurts. And to get one of those in the noggin, man, I want to tell you, you're the real MVP today. So I'm going to tell you, Bill, you could take a bottle of tequila and take it with you. And because I was worried, I even called you last night at midnight. I didn't feel right. I felt sick to my stomach that I could be celebrating a Spartans win, knowing that you were not doing well. But then I found out this morning by Joe Rico saying, hey, man, I just talked to Billy. Billy's coming in the studio. I mean, that is MVP, offensive and defensive MVP right there, man.
Yep.
Bill.
Thank you very much.
Well, the other thing is, Bill, the Colorado Avalanche, they win 4-0, a shutout.
Wow.
Mackenzie Blackwood, and now they're back in 2-2. And Gabriel Landeskog scored a goal last night.
That was great.
And how exciting is that for the entire state? I mean, everybody's watched this journey, the Netflix documentary. everything this guy has been through, and for him to score a goal in the middle of a playoff game with no practice and no previous. I mean, he had a little stint in the minor leagues, but not one NHL game in 2.5 years, and to come on and do what he's done. I mean, Bill, would you talk a little bit about what kind of perseverance and incredible story Gabriel Landeskog is?
Oh, no, he's fabulous. That's why he was the captain of the team. That's why, he's all pro. He's a fabulous player, got incredible work ethics, besides being a great athlete. And that he scored last night was just fabulous.
I got the news when we were broadcasting the game. One of the fans came up to me because I asked him, I say, give me a stat on that Avalanche game. And he said, Gabe just scored. Oh, my captain just scored. And to see, there's only been 2 players, Joey, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, and him.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joey. It was, what kind of surgery was that?
Well, he had a knee replaced. He had part of his knee replaced. Right. And look, I don't want to. We need somebody like Dr. Nakin to help us out with that. But I'm going to say this: it was a surgery that many people in the NHL had tried to come back for. None of them successfully. So what he's doing is unprecedented. And the hit he put on Mikko Rantanen was, oh my goodness, that's when I knew he was back. Because as much as the goal scoring was great, I think I was worried when he was going to take a hit on that knee, what might happen. And man, he just kept right on skating, and Mikko Rantanen got much the worst of that hit, Alex. But you know what? It's a big deal that both the Nuggets and Avalanche, like you said, Alex, they're right in the middle of it. And I think it's going to be exciting here Monday night. I think it's a shame that they have these guys playing on the same night all the time. I think it's ridiculous.
Well, it's not a shame for number 38 here, man. This place is going to be bumping and popping, man, all the way around on both sides. If you haven't been down here, Joey, tell everybody what this place is
amazing,
all about.
man. Well, I mean, you just look
There's
at
4 layers to this location.
TV after TV, jumbotrons, volleyball pits, outdoor concert venue. I mean, great food, great drinks, all kinds of stuff from Breckenridge Brewery. They have their own seltzers here.
Sports has their own beers here. I mean, are you kidding me?
Well, look, man, that Orange Crush, blood orange wheat beer.
I could see a Suavecito tequila.
Yeah. We need that
drink ready coming.
We need it. Yeah. We need it here. We need it right away.
Are you listening to us, Nate? Are you watching, Nate? Because we got to get it going, man. We're in the middle of playoff season.
Well, you know what? If they don't have it at your local watering hole, what do you do, Alex?
You demand it, Joe.
If you don't have it at your hotel, what do?
You demand it,
That's right. If it's not at my friend's house, you know what I do? I demand it. I'm like, don't have me come over here again if you don't have any Suavecito in the liquor cabinet.
I won't do it. At all the Total Wines. Bill, talk about your relationship with Total Wines, because really that's the location that carries all of them, and you can't miss anytime you go to Total Wines for all your Suavecito, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we're one of Total Wine sells over 8,000 liquors. We're one of their top 40 in sales.
That's incredible, Bill. That is incredible.
It is incredible. And when at the end of the year, they were so worried about our new president putting tariffs in that they gave us 16 purchase orders in January.
So before this tariffs came in, so they were preparing themselves.
They exactly. They asked if we could ship them the entire amount that they bought all of last year, 16 truckloads.
Wow.
And we shipped those 16 truckloads to them in February.
Oh my gosh. So they kind of foresee what was happening.
They knew what was up.
What was going on. And we're talking about pallets. How much tequila is in one pellet?
It's a lot.
I just want for our listeners to understand.
720 bottles per pallet. And there's 18 to 20 pallets per truckload.
Well, if you do the math on that,
tequila,
that is enough tequila where the entire state of Colorado could have a great big party.
That could kill Mikey and Kristen Knoll.
Yeah.
Because their tequila. By the way, they sent me a message this morning and they wanted to make sure you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they were out there on the field, just tremendous participation. Look, before we get to Coach Fred Shaw, we'll have you on, but it won't be a week. It'll be a week later. Before. Where do you think of the Nuggets and Avalanche? Who do you feel a little bit better about advancing to the second round, or do you want both of them, one of them, or neither of them? What do you think the result will be when we're sitting here next Sunday?
Well, just the fact that they're 2-2 right now,
right?
That tells you that they're that the teams that they're playing against are pretty equal to them.
That's right.
So the playoffs are going to be spectacular, and the team that plays the hardest is going to win. And usually the team that has the home field or home court advantage
Or gets to
wins.
sleep in their own bed.
Yeah.
And now that we've got that, so let's hope both of those teams win.
Well, all right. I
Spoken
love it,
like
Bill.
a true MVP.
That's great. And please, before we go, I have to tell you, Suavecito Tequila, the Blanco, the Reposado, the Cristalino, the Anejo, and the Extra Anejo. Please go to suavecitotequila.com. Just type in your zip code. It'll tell you where the nearest store is that sells the tequila. And it's real simple. Once you drink it, we don't have to do any more sales. It's done. Hey, when we get back, and Bill, thanks so much. I'm glad you're feeling better. God bless you, and God bless Suavecito Tequila. It probably saved my life and possibly my marriage. All right, man. Love it. Hey, when we get back, Fred Shaw, the coach of the Colorado Spartans, he joins the Final Word next with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez when you return to the Mile High Sports YouTube channel.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila. Suavecito Tequila is unique from any other tequila for three main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000-foot altitude. So we have mountain-grown agave. Americans hear about mountain-grown coffee and mountain-grown grapes. They never hear about mountain-grown agave, okay? Only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with Highlands agave, and it's superior to Lowlands agave. Number two, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, we're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito Tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
Played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey. And guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up. And that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
My name is Anthony Mayer, owner and founder of Game Time PDR. We're located in north part of Denver, 6825 Broadway, pretty much on Highway 36 and I-25. So we specialize in repairing hail damaged vehicles. My technicians have special rods, and the goal is to get the tools underneath the dents. And with the special lights and the angles, they're able to actually massage the metal back to factory standards. We offer a done-for-you service from top to bottom. Literally, the customer doesn't have to do anything. They bring their vehicle to us. We get them under our specialty lights. We write up an estimate, submit them to the insurance, get it approved from the insurance, get it in production, get it washed up, and get it back to the customer. We do waive deductibles up to $1,000, and anybody that mentions the Colorado Spartans, we're giving them a $200 gift card. Go Spartans!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. This is Sparta!
Okay, we are back. Joe Rico, Alex Mears at the final word here on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. We are here now live with Coach Fred Shaw. Once again, the winning coach last night in the National Arena League game between the Colorado Spartans and the Columbus Lions. And Coach Shaw, 42-38. It was very close. You know, you got to give the Lions some credit. I think out of all the teams that you've played so far, I would consider that one of the better teams you've played. And to come out with the big victory, especially in a game which you were not there for the second half, much to my chagrin. And if you hear the call on the broadcast, we have no idea still to this day why you would have actually been ejected. Most people would not have ejected you. And you can hear that on the call of the broadcast with myself and Nick Arch. Thanks for coming down. I know it's a long drive for you, but hey, it's a winning drive once again. Talk a little bit about the play of your team in the second half without you and how proud you are of them to come out with this big victory and kind of hold the fort down in a tough game.
Oh, yeah, man. That's why you just get players. We have vet players on the team, and they know how to, win ball games. And we practice this every week at practice. It's from every day. We go through every situation. I allow these guys to call their plays, and I allow them to do their thing during the week. So when we get in the game, and if I'm not there, if I'm missing, the show goes on because these guys know how to execute. And that's the players we got in the locker room.
You are listening to the Coach Fred Shaw here show, Mile High Sports. Colorado Spartans, man, big win last night. Huge win. Did you expect Columbus come out this way and play out? Because these guys big, man. These guys are big. And you know what? You came out and that team represented all the way around. And big shout out to our production team as well. It took everyone last night to get that W last night, right?
Yes, definitely. We knew Columbus was a great team. Actually, they coached well. They have a few great players on that team, so we knew it was going to be a battle, and we was ready for it. Like I said, we prepare ourselves for this situation each week, and it's nothing that's going to show up on us unexpected because we prepare ourselves and we're ready to go each week.
Well, I think it was good for you to have the close game because, that's going to be going down the stretch, especially with some road games coming up. I think some of these games are going to be close. And what I like best, and I think the key is you're doing this without your starting quarterback, Andre Sale, who was injured a few weeks back. I think Khalil Trotman has shown up and represented himself very well. Alexis Rosario got a little time at quarterback late in the game and more of a kind of like a wildcat type formation, which I thought was very good. Talk a little bit about the fundamentals that are going to be used. And when is Andre Sale? Give me a prognosis. Is he coming back, or what is your thought on Andre?
Just off of Trotman, once again, we practice, man. We practice every day. And we, like I said, we're ready for this. Each player that we have on this team is ready for that moment. So if someone goes down like
next
Sale,
man mentality,
it's the next man up. And we're ready, man. We're working every day, and like I said, we're excited. On the sales situation, it's week by week. It's honestly, I would love him to see him this week against Willen, but we're not going to rush it because the main thing is about health, and health first, and that's what it's about. So I know he said he's ready to play, man. He was ready to play this last night, but we got to make sure that everybody's healthy at the end of the season, and because these guys have a family. Little ones, we got to make sure their body's right.
Having their back like that is big.
I like having that next man mentality. You have to have that in life in general, with anything in life, because if you're not ready to go, someone's got to be in there and step in. And you know what? Let's not rush the process. This is not a race. This is a marathon.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to give you guys right now, as of April 26th. I'm giving you the division standings, the American division as we stand right now. Beaumont is 4-0. I think the only time we're going to see those guys would be in the Arena Bowl or possibly the playoffs. Arena Bowl. I like that. Columbus, which the Spartans last night took care of them. They're 2-3, so we can wash it out. The Wheeling are 2-3, and the Spartans beat them in, I believe, week 1. So we got those guys next Saturday. So really at this point, let's forget about the American division because that really doesn't concern us. Right now, the Omaha Beef are 4-1. The Spartans are 4-2. Obviously, they got the tiebreaker because they beat you guys, but they also come into town.
Yes,
this year, this coming up season, Sioux City's also coming in. So it's 2, so 4. So basically, it's a 3-man race.
City's record? What's Sioux City's record?
2-3, Joey.
2-3.
Yeah, and so right now, really, at the end of the day, as far as we're concerned, we're taking care of home field advantage, which is the Coliseum. We're 3-0. Omaha comes here. Doesn't matter if they keep winning. As long as we get that dub, it'll wash itself out.
Yes.
And then Sioux City will also be coming into town as well. So
we travel to Sioux City.
City. Okay, so there we go.
Sioux City and Omaha is going to beat up each other before.
Right. So let those guys take care of themselves. At the end of the day, all we got to do, Coach, is just keep winning. And
it's easy.
It looks that way. It sounds easy, but last night's game was probably one of the hardest games I've had to do a P announcing before. And here's the thing. I don't ever talk anything about any we control the narrative on the field,
yes, sir.
Which is what happened last night, which I'm so proud of. But there are also some objectives that get thrown into there. And I'm not going to say, because I work for you guys, all right? So Joey and Nick, we all work for the Colorado Spartans.
Amazing job.
We appreciate that. But we work for you guys. At the same time, we also have loyalty. We also have, we talked to the NAL commissioners. We talked to the referees. But it was a tough game last night. I'm not going to go into details, but it was a tough game. And I'm glad we came out at the end of that stake, Joey, because those are the kind of games you have to win.
Well, let me just say this. Coach Shaw and me talk before almost every game. And what I love is he's very calm. And because, when you're a leader, and I'm a military man, and let me tell you something, if you're a panicked leader, I'm out. Yes. Because you know what? That tells me you're going to fold in the moment. And we can all look good when it's 68-19. Everybody can relax, chill, put your arm around a brother. But where you at when it's 19-0 and you're down 19-0? That's when I need you to be a soldier. That's when I need you to have your arm around me, ready to go and go hard. And I think we have some real dogs on this team. I think we have some dogs and some leaders. I think that we have some people who I'll go to battle with. And Corey Henry, Byron Cooper, Sam Hammond, the defensive line has literally been.
What a great play he made at the end of the game, Joe.
Well, not just the end of the game. They have been killing it on every play. There's been, and it always doesn't lead to a sack, unfortunately. Sometimes it's just a pressure, but that's all you need. And that gives guys like Hall and Demo, they can break on the ball because that pressure, they can't hold on to the ball. Sometimes I see Hall break on the ball. And plus, it's Ace is Gandy, man. What do you feed that dude? Raw meat? Or, I mean, he's just like a little piranha out there, bro. Talk a little bit about your defense because as much as I like the offense, this team's strength right now is the defense.
No question.
Well, it all works together. I'm a defensive-minded coach. I want to get the ball, take the ball away from the opposing team. I don't want to get to the fourth down and then they score on fourth down. I want to take the ball away, leave no doubt. But it works together. The front line, those three guys are just go-getters. They're go-getters. But the secondary, man, those guys are pretty tough, They're pretty tough. So it all works together, meaning that the front line only have that time to get there because those guys are doing their job on the back end.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's very true.
And it's sometimes, the front line get there so fast that the quarterback just got to get rid of the ball, and then
well, that was happening a lot last night.
Dude, Hammond handled this man like a rag doll.
He led the league last year in the out sacks.
And he's going to lead it this year.
And he's leading right now. If you look at the guy, if you see him, he's just thick. He's big arms, big. I mean, he's just a big dude, man. And he's
tall dude too,
and
man.
He's comfortable with the size. Coach, defense wins championships at the end of the day, right? I mean, you give your offense so many opportunities, but if your defense keeps bailing you out every single possession after possession, because that's what happened in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the offense got – I don't want to say they shut down. They just never really got the ball back because the defense was always creating turnovers. They were getting interceptions. They were getting fumbles. I believe they got a safety. I remember that safety.
Yep.
They got – that kind of like set the tone a little bit. Like, hey, man, we're not messing around. But to my credit and to their credit, Columbus played a big game. I met their owner, the social media people. They were very nice. Everybody's been amazing so far with everything. Coach, as you're going into the next week's game, how comfortable are you with your team right now? We got some injuries we got to take care of. We got some massages we got to get done. But this is a team right now that doesn't want to lose, man. Yeah. And I think you got them all. You said, guys, I was in the locker room. Guys, I will get you there. You said, I will get you there. All you got to do is listen. We will win, I promise you. And that is what's happening, Coach.
Yeah. Like I said, it started at practice, man. And these guys believe it. And they believe right now. And they playing hard. They playing fast. And they hitting guys with bad intentions. And that's what I like.
Well,
that's what I like.
Corey Henry is a guy that literally, as much as Sam Hammonds, he's on the outside. Corey Henry's the inside. And let me tell you, he takes up two dudes and makes the job of both Cooper and Henry a lot easier. And then sometimes two dudes can't hold him either. I literally saw on 2 plays, he split 2 dudes just boom, part of the Red Sea, bam, he's in the backfield. And then once he gets his hands on, you're done. And so I think what I'm going to say is this. I don't care what your skill position players are. If you can't block and you can't put pressure on the quarterback in arena football, you're done. You're going to give up 40 or 50 points a game. Yes. But when you're throwing up numbers like 0, 2 and 13, and even last night, 26, you're going to win a lot of football games. Or 30, it was 38, excuse me. But when
we felt like that was too many.
I would say, well, it was, but look, man, again, you got to give the Columbus Lions some credit. Yes, I think that they were not a joke. Number 3, Smiley. Yeah. Look, man, that cat's for real.
Number 5.
He's a real baller, man. And so, they had legitimate talent. And I think it's more impressive to win a game like that, frankly, than beat a team that you're going to win from the very beginning. Yes, and I shouldn't say no, but when you're favored to win a game by 20 or more points, that's almost a lock, right? This was not that kind of a game. It was more of a 7-point type football game. And I saw it from the beginning. I watched warm-ups very closely. These guys were precision. They were on time. They've been together for a while. Ready. They had been together longer than some of those players than the Spartans. But the talent for the Spartans and the coaching of the Spartans, that's what's getting it done right now. It's not the continuity. Wait till the continuity comes.
Yes. We're ready for the moment. Like I said, if we take one game at a time and we dominate it, everything is not going to be pretty. But I will tell you that we're ready for any team that comes to Denver, Colorado. We're ready for them. We'll be prepared, and we come out with that victory.
Well, hopefully that altitude has something to do with it as well, because that's got to be a huge adjustment for them.
I definitely think so.
I agree, and I think we have to use that to our advantage. When I say our advantage, because I'm with the College Spartans, so is Joey, so is Nick.
For sure.
But when you see a team like that comes in, and you guys have pitched out basically 2 shutouts in a row, right? Almost.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then so your team gets humbled a little bit. Say, we can be scored on. What can we do to make improvements? What did I miss on that A gap, my responsibility, my B gap? Or what was my situational football where I wasn't covering the spread back? Or we were playing in a spread, or we were playing in a blitz. There are so many things to learn and pick and choose from this game. I think this game, and I'm glad we came on the other top, because even if we would have lost the game, I would have still been very proud of the team. But we came on the winning end. And if I'm too brash to say this, but Tony Thompson put together last night's W, not only from a coaching standpoint, from the dance team, from Joey and Nick up in the booth, for me on the PA getting yelled at by the referees all the game, man. Don't speak over me, or I'm gonna take that microphone from you. I mean, it was tough.
Both of you guys had a tough night with the referees. You know what? I think that we're not
going
out of control.
Joe, we're not going to get into that because this is a national podcast. Okay, it goes out, and we're not. And all I'm going to say is it was a tough game to deal with. Yeah, we're not going to deal with it. We came out, but that game last night was an organizational win last night with Tony's tutelage to get everybody together. And, we were running around from the PR, from the promotions, from throwing out tennis balls to giving away kicks for $10,000 to giving away T-shirts and bracelets. Man, that takes a team. That's a team, gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
And we got it done last night. And I texted Tony like at 1 a.m. I know they were at his wife, beautiful wife. She celebrated her birthday. We were all just saying so great. In fact, we sang happy birthday to her, Nicole. But last night wasn't just a victory for the football team. It was an organizational victory because there was a lot of adversity that we had to deal with on and off the field when it came to whatever semantics that came through us. Coach, your thoughts?
That's arena football, man. That's arena football. You got to adjust. And sometimes you got to adjust on the fly.
Quick.
So it comes to you fast. But I think we got the right guys in the building to do it, man. And we appreciate everything you guys do as well. And you're right, from the workers in the Coliseum all the way down to the refs, man. Everybody played their part.
Dude, the referee cut his hand,
his
finger, and he came up to me and goes, hey, I need a Band-Aid. Hold on, Joey, hold on. And I got the Denver Fire Department to come down and give him a Band-Aid and stuff like that. That takes a team.
Yeah, it takes a team. It takes a team, man.
Hey, that was marvelous. But let me give you a quote from Fred Shaw. Walked into war with my brothers, led with heart, finished with victory. No fear, no fold. God ordered the steps. We just marched. And, I think that's our bond is faith.
Yes, sir.
Because at the end of the day, I was in church this morning.
Yes, sir.
And I thought to myself, hey, look, because I don't start my day with the final word. I start my Sunday with God.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, the bottom line is there is a faith in the Spartans, and I can feel it.
Yes, sir.
And you can see the faith when it doesn't exist, because I would go to other organizations.
Yes, sir.
And, I got a good friend named Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, who says we believe. And I think that I used to think that was about a football team, but it's not.
No.
It's about a life.
It's life.
It's about a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what I'm starting to see you instill in these young men is, look, you can be a great athlete. You can be whatever you think. But if you have faith in nothing, except for just maybe what I can do on this field, you're really missing the overall aspect of things. Can you talk a little about just your personal faith, how that's affected you? Because look, we all been down and nobody's perfect. Certainly, I'm far from it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I don't have a drink or I never go and never talk to anybody or whatever. But what I am saying is I know who to turn when I've done wrong or when I have a problem. And I think that's our bond.
Yeah, we definitely put them first. We don't miss a day without saying the Lord's Prayer when we're together. And that's the first thing first. We start the practice with it. We ended on the practice. We start the game with it, and we ended on the game. So we make sure that everybody knows we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. So we're blessed and we're thankful.
Man, God bless too. Sir. I'll tell you right now.
I got chills, guys. I know we're gonna wrap up this segment here in a minute, but listen, Coach Fred Shaw, I am humbled. Last night was tough. It was we faced adversity in the face, man, from everything, from all aspects, from ticket sales to getting our tickets to our clients to getting all the sponsors their required sponsorship needs, from the Reeds to the Jumbotron, Doug and Andrew, and Lance, man, Lance
running around,
Lance
man,
is my dog, man. That's my boy.
From the DJ,
DJ Cynthia, man,
Jana,
man, DJ
controlling the dance team.
We can keep going and going.
And we just keep going. And people are like, man, you guys, they don't know the chaos that's going on.
Shout out to my assistant
you
coach.
forgot one big important group, and that's the fans, too.
Oh, yeah.
I think all the people. Wait, no, don't just say no, the fans.
No, I'm not saying that,
Without the fans, the team doesn't exist.
I was getting there, Joey.
No, you didn't get there quick enough. I was getting the man of the people. No, you don't need to worry about it. I'm the man of the people. I love you, Colorado Spartans fans. I love you, Crystal and Mike. I love you, all the fans. Marty Armijo, Josh Armijo, who won a big gift card to main event. I love Coach Fred Shaw, the owner, Tony Thompson. Listen, man, if you haven't been down to the Denver Coliseum, you need to get your butt down there. Look, it's my birthday weekend. That is correct. This weekend, my birthday weekend, I'm inviting all my friends and family out to the Denver Coliseum.
Where we going? Chuck E. Cheese?
Hey, man, no, we're going to the Denver Coliseum to watch the Colorado Spartans kick the butt of the Wheeling Miners. And look, no offense to Wheeling Miners. I'm glad that, you're coming, and no disrespect. But this team that you're going to reckon with here in Colorado has improved a heck of a lot. And that week one team
took care of you guys, too.
Yeah, well, that week one team is not here.
That's not the same
new
team.
Group
That's
of guys,
a whole
and
other
this team is 3-0.
Whole other organization.
Can you talk a little bit without any kind of disrespect? Because it's going to be a tough game no matter what.
Never.
But, man, I think the Spartans become starting to come together as a team. And defensively, I'll take the Spartans defense over any defense in the National Arena League. Right now, period.
Yeah. Like I said,
they're going to bring it every week.
Those guys going to give us everything that we want. The ball bounce funny in arena football. And sometimes it bounced to to the other team. So, but we'll be ready, like I said, man. And I just want to give a shout out to Coach Kev for stepping in yesterday. Coach
Payne,
and Coach Payne for doing his job. So he did an amazing job.
I saw the
communication. Man, that guy was nervous.
Yeah, he was nervous.
He got put on the spot, and you know what? He
Yeah.
handled it with eloquence,
Yes, he
and
did.
he handled it well. Even though he was getting screamed back from 4 different angles.
Oh yeah,
from everything. Listen,
he was definitely getting.
Hey, and I saw Coach Shaw. He tried to sneak. Oh yeah,
I did.
Yeah, man. We're gonna talk
last one for me.
Last
one. I want to put a bow on this segment. I want to tell you guys next weekend. Let's rock the house at the Coliseum.
Yeah, pack that place.
Let's
Please.
get it going.
Everybody
because,
come down.
listen, we're 3-0. All right, at home, we must protect this turf.
Yeah, we
there's
gotta
a
protect this
reason
house,
why
man.
the Spartans are playing the Coliseum. How fitting, the Spartans and the Coliseum, Joey.
Of course,
They go hand in hand.
I think Tony had something to do with that, man. He knew what's up.
Listen, I am so excited. I can't wait till next Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already getting my show notes prepped for next Saturday. The girls are getting their dance team routine going. We got the promotions going. We got new information.
We're gonna have that place
Listen,
on fire, man.
so fired up. In Mile High Sports, I'm gonna ask these guys, can we do the after party here?
Well, let's see.
Let's do the after party here, Joe.
Let's
It's not
let's
too
try and
far
figure
from the
that
arena.
out.
It's only a mile
But
away.
I'm gonna encourage you because we got to wrap it up, Coach Shaw.
Okay.
We're gonna go and finish this off with a bang. We have to preview. It'll be our picks. Nick, myself, you're welcome to hang back. We're gonna preview Nuggets and Avs when we sit back here next Sunday. Will both teams
series
survive?
will be over by then.
Will only one team survive, or will neither team survive? We're gonna find out what the experts, myself and Alex and Nick, think when you return to the Final Word with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez. Coming up on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel.
This is madness.
Spartans! What is your profession?
This is blasphemy. This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
This is Sparta!
My name is Anthony Mayer, owner and founder of Game Time PDR. We're located in north part of Denver, 6825 Broadway, pretty much on Highway 36 and I-25. So we specialize in repairing hail damaged vehicles. My technicians have special rods, and the goal is to get the tools underneath the dents. And with the special lights and the angles, they're able to actually massage the metal back to factory standards. We offer a done-for-you service from top to bottom. Literally, the customer doesn't have to do anything. They bring their vehicle to us. We get them under our specialty lights. We write up an estimate, submit them to the insurance, get it approved from the insurance, get it in production, get it washed up, and get it back to the customer. We do waive deductibles up to $1,000, and anybody that mentions the Colorado Spartans, we're giving them a $200 gift card. Go Spartans!
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila. Suavecito Tequila is unique from any other tequila for 3 main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000-foot altitude. So we have mountain-grown agave. Americans hear about mountain-grown coffee and mountain-grown grapes. They never hear about mountain-grown agave, okay? Only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with Highlands agave, and it's superior to Lowlands agave. Number 2, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, we're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
I played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey. And guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up. And that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
All right, Joe Rico, Alex Mir is back. The final word. We are wrapping it up here on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. We'll be joined by the owner of the Colorado Spartans, Tony Thompson, here in just about 5 minutes. So before we get to
Let's
Tony,
just talk about everything we just talked about, man.
well, hold on there for a second. Before we get to Tony, the number one thing I want to discuss was what a great victory it was from the Colorado Spartans. I mean, I really thought that there were several times in the game that could have gone either way.
Yep.
And, for them to win a game like that, that's fantastic. Unfortunately, before we talk to Tony, because we'll have plenty of time to talk about it, I do want to talk about, we will not be on the air before the Nuggets and Avs wrap up. Right. I want to get our predictions real quick. I'm going to start with Nick Archuleta. Nick, I want to ask you, first of all, Nuggets 2-2, Avs 2-2. Will both teams win their series? One of the teams win their series? And if so, who will that be? Or neither of the teams win their series?
I have total faith in the Avs. I mean, especially after the domination last night. No doubt Avs are going to win that series. The Nuggets are so bipolar right now. It is hard. Like, I was talking to a friend the other day, and I said, I have to watch the first quarter to tell you whether or not I think the Nuggets can do anything. But even then, the first quarter can't tell you a whole lot either, because they're so bipolar. I'll give them a shooter's chance, I guess, and it's going to go 7. I'll give them benefit of the doubt. I'll say it's going to go 7, and they pull it out.
All right, both of them. Alex, both of them, none of them, or one of them?
I think the Avalanche had the most momentum right now with Gabe coming back and that 4-0 win last night. I like the Nuggets, Joe. I bleed with the Nuggets. I even put it on our Facebook page. We cover the Nuggets, the Broncos, the Avalanche. Yeah. Not the Avalanche, sorry, the Broncos, the Nuggets,
the Avalanche,
the Buffs, UFC, and all, and the Spartans. I don't know. I can't. Honestly, if you're putting me on the spot right now, if I have to put money at my own pocket
money on both of them, $1,000 on both of them, and you have to have that cashed out Friday. You owe that Friday.
I'm gonna take the Avs,
and that's it.
Avs win the series. Nuggets don't.
Okay, fair enough. I am gonna go the same. I'm going to say the Avalanche win and the Nuggets don't.
That's because you're putting money on this, Joey.
Right now, my heart is with the Nuggets, obviously, and I think even Nick said it best. He's guessing. It is 50-50. I see it coming down to a game 7. I don't think it's not just the Nuggets. It's if you add up James Harden as the second best player versus Jamal Murray as the second best player. Right now, James Harden's playing better. So, I mean, Kawhi and Jokic, I don't want to say
5 for 17.
Right, that's what I mean. I don't want to say that Nikola and Kawhi are a direct
little
wash.
pick and roll is not working.
Well,
anymore.
can I finish real quick?
Yeah.
Kawhi and Nikola had 36, Kawhi had 24. So at that point, I definitely understand that, Nikola was better, but they kind of washed each other out because Kawhi had 39 the night before or the game before. So it's down to Jamal and Harden. And if I had to take a gander on this, I'm going to take Harden over Jamal Murray in this next 2 out of 3 games. So I take the Clippers in 7 games. I think it'll be a lot like the Nuggets Timberwolves last year or Nuggets Portland from 5 years ago where the Nuggets have a big lead.
No,
it's happened.
It's not the
It's
same.
happened twice. Why wouldn't it? It is the same. These guys are playing Jokic
I like what you said earlier, Joe. When the Joker didn't win the MVP, they won the NBA championship. All right. And I think that's the mentality.
I don't know if
the
they have
Nuggets.
it. I don't know if they have that mentality.
Listen, here's the scary part about the scenario with the Nuggets is if they don't go far in the playoffs.
Oh, they're breaking them up. Breaking them up.
Jamal's deal doesn't start till like next year, I believe.
Yeah, no, they're breaking them up.
And MPJ, come on.
They're going.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's Joker and it's Gordon, Christian Brown.
Yep.
And I think everybody else, bye-bye.
And then, who's next?
Bye-bye.
Josh Kroenke, because he's going to be the one picking the roster. Josh Kroenke has assumed a lot of
So
control.
do the Nuggets hire a GM before they hire a coach, or do they hire the coach
No,
and they hire
Josh
a GM?
Kroenke decides how much more involved he wants to. I mean, by the way, Josh Kroenke did play at the University of Missouri,
yeah.
and has been involved with us. We met Josh Kroenke in 2013.
Yeah.
We have a picture with him, Brian Shaw, me and you. And
I was like,
I'm going to tell you right
19,
now.
Joe.
Yeah, well, you know what? You were 19. I was 27. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say this right now. I think that Josh Kroenke, hey, here we go. The guy we were waiting for, the man of the hour has joined us.
Hold on. We got him back. Hang back for a second, Tony. Just relax. We'll get you in the next one.
Real quick, man.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, we got
my
some
God.
Spartans guys here, man. I love it, man.
No.
And these guys
Oh,
look like they were
God.
players who were involved in a big win. But hey, real quick, man. So here's our picks to wrap it up before we get to our Colorado Spartans segment. Nick, we'll go to break here in about a minute.
Yep.
All right.
And then we're going to wrap it up with the Colorado Spartans. So our final predictions are Nick predicts that both the Avalanche and the Nuggets will make it out of the round one. Alex and I predict only the Avalanche and the Nuggets. I think James Harden is just going to be too much. I think he's a better player than Jamal. I think Kawhi and Jokic cancel each other out. I'm taking the Clippers, as is Alex, but we both think the Colorado Avalanche will defeat the Dallas Stars. And, hey, we'll find out how right everyone is next Sunday. When we get back, we have the owner, Tony Thompson, and a couple surprise guests, superstar players from your Colorado Spartans when you return to the Final Word YouTube channel with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. This is Sparta!
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
Do it. There's no other plugs.
Okay, so won't do it?
Nope.
Okay, so then we have to do shorter segments.
My name is Anthony Mayer, owner and founder of Game Time PDR. We're located in north part of Denver, 6825 Broadway, pretty much on Highway 36 and I-25. So we specialize in repairing hail-damaged vehicles. My technicians have special rods, and the goal is to get the tools underneath the dents. And with the special light from the angles, they're able to actually massage the metal back to factory standards. We offer a done-for-you service from top to bottom. Literally, the customer doesn't have to do anything. They bring their vehicle to us.
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila. Suavecito Tequila is unique from any other tequila for three main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000-foot altitude. So we have mountain-grown agave. Americans hear about mountain-grown coffee and mountain-grown grapes. They never hear about mountain-grown agave, okay? Only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with Highlands agave, and it's superior to Lowlands agave. Number two, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, we're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito Tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
Played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey. And guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up. And that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
This is madness.
Spartans! What is your profession?
This is blasphemy. This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
This is Sparta!
Right.
Joe Rico, Alex Ramirez back on the Final Word YouTube channel with our great friend, the owner of the Colorado Spartans, Tony Thompson. And Tony, first of all, thanks for making time for us this morning. A big win over the Columbus Lions, 42-38. And, you know, after coming off back-to-back blowouts, as I spoke to Coach Fred Shaw, I thought it was good that the team faced some adversity and came back with a really strong effort against the game Lions team that was there to win. Your thoughts on the game and the overall perspective of being 4-2 here in your first season in Denver?
Yeah, no, I mean, that game was it's what we needed, though. You know, like you said, 2 kind of blowout victories, especially pitching a shutout the week before. It's something that's unheard of in arena football to go 49-0 in a game. That's tough to do. So having one that's it's a heavyweight battle where it's blow for blow. And it came down to that last, I don't know, 2 minutes of the game.
Sam Hammond knocked that extra 2-point conversion.
Yeah, 2-point conversion. I mean, that's a game changer. But it was good to see our guys, I don't want to say face adversity, but mentally stay in it. Because there's teams that are young teams. We're a young teams that will fold under pressure. And I'm glad our guys, you know, we're tough on them all week long. We're tough on them in practice. If you want to see Coach Shaw get fired up, come to a practice. He'll cuss you out if he needs to. But we're tough on guys because we want them to be ready for a championship. And when it is a heavyweight battle, we love seeing our guys step up and, you know, good players make big plays and big
plays
moments.
at the big time, you know. And you are listening to Tony Thompson, the owner of the Colorado Spartans here at Mile High Sports at number 38. New location that we are broadcasting now from here on out for Mile High Sports and the Final Word. Coach, Tony, Coach Tony, it's the same kind of thing, same thing. I just want to say real quick that last night's game, and Joe mentioned it, he touched on it a little bit, saying that you needed a little bit of adversity to, you know, you guys shut out last week. But I was telling Coach Fred Shaw that last night's game was an organizational victory from the top all the way down, from the ticketing office to the dance team to the guys upstairs doing the broadcast on the YouTube to all the promotions going out at halftime, the tennis balls, the T-shirts. Everybody was part of that victory last night because it was not easy.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, the NAL referees were riding me hard, and it's cool. I've done it. I've been there before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't easy, and you guys got tested to the end, and it was only a 3-point victory at the end of the day. Talk about your team that you assembled last night to get that dub, because I think everybody walked out of the arena that's part of your team. We make it look easy to the arena, but it's controlled chaos, right?
Yeah.
In the arena at that time.
Yeah, and so what you said organizationally, that's the key point there, is that I can't do this by myself. At the end of the day, I can't do this by myself. And you need guys from, like you said, ticketing all the way down. From the moment you walk in the Coliseum, we had our dance team putting eye black on little kids that walk through. I mean, you don't get that experience anywhere else. So we want to make sure the experience out the gate is good. But yeah. I mean, if something goes wrong, hey, we're going to make it right real quick. And then, you know, the game ops, you know, it's what is this, our third home game?
Yeah, 3-0.
Game 1, you know, it was a little chaotic because we've never done it before. We had a crew of 20 people. We've never done it before.
Yep.
Now we're getting it down so we understand at this time we're doing this.
What exactly is needed.
Yes. And then by the time the end of the season comes around, heck, we're going to be our last game. We're like, all right, we're ready for 10 more games. And then we got to wait till next year.
Well, I'll say this, as part of the broadcast team, it was just like that. You know, it was a bunch of people, very talented, all doing something for the first time. And that was week 1 all across the board. I think whether you were a player, a coach, a broadcast, everything was a little off. And then week 2, obviously a little bit of refinement, a little bit of experience, kind of work the bugs out. Maybe not a perfect broadcast, but working toward. And then, I think for many of us, all things clicked. Yesterday, I think, you know, the production crew much better, replays working, you know, broadcasters 100%. Speaking in unison, talking about both teams with knowledge, going down to interview opposing teams and coaches so that they did a
and knowing
service
where
to
the
the
camera was
broadcasters
at for the Coach Shaw halftime show.
Right.
Everything was positioned where it needed to be.
Well, it was a great technical production, and it was a great effort from not just the team. And I think the most telling sign is the coach in many of these games. If he would have been ejected, many teams, young teams, fall apart. The assistant coaches are often deer in the headlights guys who had only been there a week. And look at this guy. And I think you should speak to the gentleman who took over as the coach, because that shows what kind of organization you're really building.
Yeah. And heck, at one point someone said, hey, I think your assistant coach is going to get ejected. That means that I would have to get on the field. Now, don't get me wrong, I call plays because I come to practice, get in the trenches with the big boys. Actually, what people don't realize is that even at practice, I'll step in and be O-line, D-line. I don't wear pads. They know don't hit the owner, basically. But I'll get in there with them so I could show them technique as we're practicing. But I thought at one point, I'm about to get out there and call plays if my assistant gets ejected because, you get heated in those kind of games. But what I did want to touch on was, the support, like you said, organizationally. But what helps us is the support of our what I call corporate partners. I don't like to say sponsors because that sounds like a little kid baseball. Sign on
hey,
the
they're giving me ice cream or something.
Our corporate partners, they're growing with us.
Right.
Game
They understand.
one, a little bit of chaos, and then game two, they understand that, hey, we're building this thing and we're trying to get. If we get to the Broncos level eventually in life, where you walk in, you know exactly where you're going, you know what you're supposed to do, where the bathrooms are, everything. But now, those partners that have been there with us,
they understand.
They understand. They fully understand that, hey, you guys are building this. And I love the fact that they're doing it with us. And I see the smiles and the faces. I love seeing the instant replays when the guys go over the wall. The scared look that they have turns into smiles. And it's hitting the players that come over the wall, hitting their helmets and shoulder pads. It's so much fun interaction. So I love the fact that we have a great support system of corporate partners that are around us.
And that's, I'm going to set a great example that you mentioned. One of the driving companies as a sponsor for you guys last night came up to me in the third quarter, said, hey, you know what? We're missing a couple things. Can we get this straightened out? I said, hey, Tony, we got this. You sent someone else to go take care of them, and everything was resolved within 3 minutes. So when you say everybody's growing, we're all growing together. And one of the things that people really, I'm noticing, Tony, is footballs. They absolutely love footballs. Kids, even the adults. Yo, man, can you give me one of those balls for my grandchild or my son or my daughter, my wife, my ex-wife, my Sancha, whatever. It doesn't matter. They want footballs. So we need to have more.
Trying to get us in trouble? Or
no,
I didn't realize there's certain people out that don't exist in my life.
My fiance is still convinced that we went to the after party last night because I posted the thing on Instagram, and it's not happening, babe. If you're listening to the show, no, we didn't. Joey and I were not there. Tony was celebrating his wife and the Spartans at that Great Gatsby down in the Wazee Street. But listen, it was a great night all the way around. And I'm never a person that will point fingers at a referee, say, hey, you guys gave us a wrong time. But you need those kind of moments to grow as a team to say, okay, all right, I got it. I'm not going to speak over the PA guy. Hey, I got it. I can't cross that line as a coach, or I can't cross that line as this or that. Next week, Wheeling, you guys are in some pain. We got some pain coming for you.
I'm going to say this real quick to intervene. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to that theory about predicting pain and all that. I got it, clever.
The Wheeling's going down.
You can do that. Are you going to be playing in the game? No. But let's talk about some guys who you brought down who are going to be playing in that game, and that's who my real faith is in. Let's start with number 0, Corey Henry, and you being a big DT, a big guy who understands how big. And we mentioned in the broadcast, he's taking up 2 guys. As much as Sam Hammond and Byron Cooper are great players, it's a lot easier because of Corey Henry. Speak to how big it is, because it's not one man blocking Corey Henry. It's 2, and then Hammond or Cooper come around the corner. Sack, fumble. Big part of the game last night. A key part of the game is Hammond sack, fumble. But Corey Henry makes that play by taking up 2 defenders and drawing a holding call.
Yeah. So what people don't realize is that, and I just explained this to Columbus. I said, hey, since we're not playing you guys again, I'll give you some insight, because their center and guard were talking to us we just drove them back to the airport, and he was talking about how good we are as a D line. He said, we know they're down in Georgia, and he said, we know when we came here that we have to go against that D line. And he said, that's all we said is they got a hell of a D line. And so I love that, because I'm a nose guard at heart. So I do love hearing other teams say that, and other coaches say, man, you guys got a good D line. And so, but that's where I practice with these guys on a daily. And Corey is he set the at FAU. He set the all-time sack record.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
hell of a defensive end.
Yep.
This season, I said, hey, I need you to move into nose. You got to play nose because we got 2 other edge rushers.
Yep.
But you give us such finesse at the nose guard position that I couldn't do. I'm a big, strong,
Incredible
person.
lateral movement. Great lateral
So
movement.
Corey could do
Hand-handed.
stuff that he could swim, and he could do stuff that I could never do because I'm more of a power move guy. And but the way we work together, I'd say we got 3 dogs up front, and they're going to hunt the whole time. And we work together. And we, I don't want to give away our inside stuff of what we do.
We don't want to give away too
Sam
much, man.
Sam
We got
Hammond
a game,
led
man.
the NAL last year in the sacks.
Yeah, and
University
right
of
now,
Nevada.
by the end of the season, I bet we have the number 1 and the number 2 pass rusher in the league, and that's Corey Henry and Sam Hammond.
Yep.
If not Byron,
Byron,
Cooper,
no, man,
they're
I'll
gonna
tell you,
be- they're-
man.
all 3 of them are going to be up there as
Some
league
dogs.
leaders in sacks.
Hey, well, let's go to break and let's bring on Corey Henry when you come back to the final word on the My Live Sports YouTube channel.
This is madness.
Spartans! What is your profession?
This is madness. Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
My name is Anthony Mayer, owner and founder of Game Time PDR. We're located in north part of Denver, 6825 Broadway, pretty much on Highway 36 and I-25. So we specialize in repairing hail damaged vehicles. My technicians have special rods, and the goal is to get the tools underneath the dents. And with the special lights and the angles, they're able to actually massage the metal back to factory standards. We offer a done-for-you service from top to bottom. Literally, the customer doesn't have to do anything. They bring their vehicle to us. We get them under our specialty lights. We write up an estimate, submit them to the insurance, get it approved from the insurance, get it in production, get it washed up, and get it back to the customer. We do waive deductibles up to $1,000, and anybody that mentions the Colorado Spartans, we're giving them a $200 gift card. Go Spartans!
With millions of page views every year, ColoradoPreps.com is the #1 source for the high school sports community to keep up with the latest news and scores. From football and volleyball to basketball and softball, ColoradoPreps.com provides a year-round hub for coaches, friends, and family to stay connected to their favorite schools and athletes, and keep an eye on their rivals. Covering high school sports from the peaks to the plains, you always get the latest at ColoradoPreps.com.
I played with arguably the best corner to ever lace him up in Champ Bailey. And guess what? He too was victimized by certain plays, but he never gave up. And that's what I see in PS2, right? The idea of never giving up. Yes, you may get beat, but he is a complete corner.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bill Foss, the owner and maker of Suavecito Tequila. Suavecito Tequila is unique from any other tequila for three main reasons. The first one is my agave farm in Mexico. It's an hour and a half south of Guadalajara, and it's up in the mountains at a 7,000-foot altitude. So we have mountain-grown agave. Americans hear about mountain-grown coffee and mountain-grown grapes. They never hear about mountain-grown agave, okay? Only 8 or 9% of all tequilas are made with highlands agave, and it's superior to lowlands agave. Number two, I extra age my tequilas. To be a reposado, it has to be stored in a barrel for 2 months. I keep it there for 9 months. The añejo has to be in the barrel 1 year. I keep it 2 years. The extra añejo has to be in the barrel 3 years. I age it 5 years. That extra aging just gives it more body, more texture, and more flavor. And last but not least, we're the only tequila that adds 2% agave nectar back into the tequila. This little bit of agave nectar eliminates the burn going down your throat. Makes Suavecito Tequila the smoothest tequila you will ever drink.
All right, we are back. Joe Rico, Alex Mears, the final word on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. And we are talking now with Corey Henry. He is a guy who played at Florida Atlantic University.
Number 0 for your Colorado Spartans. Number 1
0.
in your hearts. Joe.
Yep, absolutely. But all I have to say is he's a beast, a guy who is, was an edge rusher here. Tony was telling us, and you being a team guy, he asked you to move inside. And boy, you didn't just move inside. You have really been dominating. You, Sam Hammond, and Byron Cooper really been making a difference in these last 3 games, especially. Talk a little bit about the big victory, 42-38 over the Columbus Lions. And I thought it was a hard-fought game. I thought both teams played very well, but the Spartans come out on top, and I thought it was primarily a defensive effort. Can you talk about how well the Spartans have played on defense and kind of some of the keys to your game and success? And thanks for coming down.
For I would say the last 3 games, defense just been dominating. I would say it started at the front with us, the three guys at the front, me, Byron, and Sam, and I don't know. I guess I would just say everybody is clicking. That's all I can say. Everybody's clicking and gelling, and that just came out of the blue. Because my first time at Nose, when we went to Willing, we didn't play like that. So I guess I think it all started at home when we played the Vegas Kings team.
Yep.
So ever since that game, we just been on a roll. We're gonna continue to be on the road. So we play Willing this upcoming week. It's gonna be bad for them. So
yeah, I think they got some bad news for them, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I gotta talk to you even before the season started. You were one of the guys that came over for promotions and sponsorships over at Jimmy Suds. Remember you came down with the car, man, and we appreciate that. So I didn't know you were playing the edge. Now so Tony told you to move in the middle. You guys are nothing but nonsense in there, man. How does it go from like pitching a shutout to allowing a team to score what they did? But Columbus had some ballers. Let's not take it away. They came out to play last night. But at the end of the day, defense wins championships, Corey.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are on the right trajectory. And I was telling Tony and I was telling Coach Fred Shaw earlier that last night's victory wasn't just a team effort. It was an organizational victory from everybody, from the tickets to the dance team to the guys that take care of the security to Joey and I doing our thing and the Nick and the broadcast team. It was a team victory, and it felt good, didn't it?
Yeah, real good. Especially when I scored that touchdown.
I saw that, man.
I know we needed it, so I was
you need to dance, man.
I was like, ooh.
You need a dance.
Let me just say this, man. I always love when big men get in the end zone because they don't always know exactly what they're gonna do when they get there. And I thought you had a little bit of indecision exactly how you wanted to celebrate that.
I just laid there.
Yeah.
Like you looked up and said,
I just looked up. Yeah, Sam helped me here. I was like, I'll just have whatever you want. I was like,
I saw that.
That was big time, man. That was a big play in the game, too.
Shuffle or something.
Yeah.
Well, and also, man, Sam Hammond's that sack fumble, and the deflection of the 2-point of that drop kick. Talk a little bit about Sam and Byron. You guys just form. There's got to be a little connection because you guys kind of work as a unit.
Three-headed monster.
I think that team, even though it's an individual game, it seems like you guys are sacrificing for each other.
Yep.
Yeah. I would just say just trusting each other. If we're gonna get the job done. So If they tell me they're gonna go inside, I just cover for them. Even if they don't get there, I'm just gonna make them right. If they don't call a twist on us, because they be calling a twist when we're not even running a twist. But I don't know. I trust them, so I trust that they can get the job done and just hide they back and make them right as much as possible. So,
last one for me, real quick. You know, ever since I met you, you've always been short on words, and I think you've actually opened up a little bit on our show a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen you smile or laugh a little bit, but when you talk about you're scoring that touchdown, man.
Yeah.
Talk about what's going to happen on Saturday night to the Wheeling, man, because I know
Wheeling Miners,
I
the Wheeling Miners.
The reason I can't wait to play them because the last time I played them, so when I moved the nose, I didn't like it because I was trying to play. It's Tony play nose.
Yeah.
So the way he played, I was trying to do it like that, but I'm not 300 pounds.
You're not
so.
A guy.
Tony's a big dude.
I'm like, man, I got to figure out a way how I'm going to play it, make it work for me. So I'm like, I'm more of a finesse guy and just go. So I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it my way. So ever since I started doing it that way, it just picked up. It made the defensive liners look different and just we all look because I guess because of the end, because it do start because of the inside. So I would say since I've stepped it up, Sam been doing what he's supposed to, Byron been doing what he's supposed to. So and we just been dominating. So we gonna continue to dominate. I mean, we go this. So I think we had at least what 4, 5 sets. I would say 6 sets against Wheeling, and that was just the first game. We had 6 or 7 sets.
That's a different team now.
And we're a different team now. So that soon I'm going, oh my God.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to predict 9 sacks for the Colorado Spartans this Saturday. I'm predicting 9 sacks, and I'm predicting 2.5 sacks for Corey Henry and 2 tackles for loss. I'm going to say this before we get ready to go, man. You know, you've been a big part of this team so far, but it's only just begun. You guys are 4-2. You're a half game behind the Omaha Beef. You have some road games coming up after the Wheeling game. And then May 31st, it's going to be a big game, a showdown between you and the Omaha Beef. And I believe that's going to be for the National Division Championship.
National Division
it's going to be, I think that game will be for the National Division title.
And it ain't going to be no close, no.
Nope.
We're going to beat them.
All right, man. I believe it, man.
I believe it. I don't.
Well, listen,
Corey, don't say a lot, man. But
hey, listen, man. I just want to say this has been a great show. I want to thank our good friends, Tony Thompson, Fred Shaw, Corey Henry, all from the Colorado Spartans organization. Our great friend, Bill Foss from Suavecito Tequila. And most of all of our partners, our brand sponsors, our people who believe in the final word. We appreciate you. We'd be nothing without all of the people who sponsor this show. We love you, Colorado. And we'll see you next week on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel for the final word with Joe Rico and Alex Ramirez.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. This is Sparta!